A memory with my best friend. For my birthday last year, my best friend on the left brought me apple picking. I had never been apple picking before and I was very excited. I finished work at 2 p.m. and she picked me up at 2:15. She decided to go to her favorite orchard on the Île d'Orléans. We drove for half an hour before crossing the bridge. It was my first time on the island and the fall colors were very beautiful. All the trees were colored in yellow, orange and red. The weather was perfect for apple picking. It was not too cold but not too hot either. I was impressed by the size of the orchard. It was very big and there were 5 different kinds of apples to choose from. My best friend wanted to pick some McIntosh apple and I wanted to pick up some Honeycrisp apples. We each had 1 bag to fill up. We started with the McIntosh apple, the most popular kind, but because they are so popular, there were only apples left at the top of the trees. My best friend and I tried to pick some apples up while staying on the ground, but there are very few nice ones left. Therefore, we tried to find a ladder in order to climb on the apple trees. Nevertheless, there were a lot of families with young kids and there were no ladder to be found close to us. My best friend kept looking for a ladder, but I got discouraged quickly. So I decided to climb up some trees to help my best friend fill up her bag. I was not wearing very great shoes and climbing up the trees was difficult. The branches were sparse and they were very far apart. Nevertheless, I succeeded in choosing a few apples for my best friend. After climbing 5 or 6 apple trees, her bag was full and we went on a hunt for the Honeycrisp apple trees. We walked around for 10 minutes towards the beginning of the orchard without finding any blue-wrapped apple trees. I was getting discouraged again, so we decided to split up. After 10 more minutes, I finally found the Honeycrisp apple trees. They were at the very beginning of the orchard and at the complete opposite of where we had started picking up apples. The apples were round and a beautiful shade of red and they were even higher in the tree. Therefore, I went to pick up a ladder I had seen when looking for the Honeycrisp apple tree. Contrarily to the McIntosh apple trees, the Honeycrisp apple trees still had many apples in them. In fact, they almost looked untouched. There were so many apples to choose from. My best friend helped me fill up my bag and a few minutes later it was all done. We were all done picking apples. Thus, we decided to sit down at a nearby table and enjoy a couple of apples that were still constantly falling off our bags. The Honeycrisp apples were crisp, juicy, and sweet, and I liked them very much. Once our apple picking adventure was coming to an end, we paid for our apples and crossed the street to go to the orchard's market. On top of apples, there were many apple products, apple juice, apple jelly, and even some pastries. My best friend bought some apple juice and some pastries, and I got some apple jelly because it is my favorite food to spread on toast in the morning. I also bought some fresh bread to go with my jelly. In addition to the beautiful apple products, there are also several kinds of vegetables. There are carrots, leeks, violin heads, turnip, and even potatoes, just to name a few. However, the fall vegetable that I like the most is squash, and I was very excited about the variety they displayed. There was spaghetti squash, butternut squash, acorn squash, delicata, and also decorative squash. As we went apple picking at the beginning of October, and as Halloween was getting close, there were hundreds of pumpkins of all shapes. There were tiny pumpkins to use as decoration, small pumpkins to make soup, medium-sized pumpkins to make pies, and big pumpkins to decorate. When we were all done apple picking, vegetable picking, and looking at the many pumpkins, we decided to sit at a table next to the market. We enjoyed the beautiful view of the sun starting to set on Beauport. I was very impressed by the beauty and the magic of the Île d'Orléans in the fall. After enjoying the view for some time, my best friend and I decided to head home as supper time was coming and it is a half-hour ride home. It was one of my best birthday activities and I am sure that I will go again next year.